Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are still working on Love's Labour's Lost, and we are still in what a lot of versions call Act 4, Scene 3, but the folio just calls Act 4 because he didn't split things into scenes. So we're in the farcical part of the play, and we know that the four gents are in love with the four ladies, and the four ladies are in love with the four gents, but we have to have all of this like come to light somehow. And we, the audience, have been exposed to two love letters, one from Armado to Jaconetta, which actually went to the Princess of France, and one from Biron to Rosalind that actually ended up with Jaconetta. So Jaconetta and Costard are bringing it to the King of France. And Biron took a moment to lament the fact that he's in love, but then try to come to terms with the fact that he's in love. But then the king came in, so Biron jumped in a bush, and the king read his sonnet to the Princess of France out loud, and then dropped it on the ground and kicked it under the bush in the hopes that she might find it. And then Longueville came in, so the king jumped into another bush, and Longueville read his sonnet out loud to Maria that he's hoping she will find somehow. And then Dumaine came in, so Longueville jumped into another bush, and now Dumaine is like front and center, and the other guys are all in bushes watching Dumaine like lament over the fact that he is in love with Catherine, and he has written a thing to her, and they're playing like Mystery Science Theater 3000, making all these comments about what he has written, and is Catherine really that beautiful, and all that sort of thing, until finally he's like, all right, fine, I'm just gonna read my sonnet out loud. And Biron's like, wee-hee, and Dumaine says, on a day, alack the day, love, whose month is every May, spied a blossom passing fair, playing in the wanton air. Through the velvet leaves the wind, all unseen can passage find, that the lover, sick to death, wish himself the heaven's breath. Air, quoth he, thy cheeks may blow, air, would I might triumph so, but alack, my hand is sworn, ne'er to pluck thee from thy throne. Vow, alack, for youth unmeet, youth so apt to pluck a sweet. Do not call it sin in me that I am forsworn for thee, thou for whom Jove would swear Juno but an Ethiop were, and deny himself for Jove, turning mortal for thy love. This will I send, and something else more plain, that shall express my true love's fasting pain. Would the king, Biron, and Longueville were lovers too! Ill to example ill, would from my forehead wipe a perjured note, for none offend where all alike do dote. So lovely and sweet and fun. His is kind of a dramatic reading of a poem, and I don't think it really counts as a sonnet. I think it's long and the rhyme scheme is off for it to be a sonnet. But anyway, his whole thing is that he was sitting there, and she floated by on the wind, and he fell in love with her, but he can't follow her like the wind does because he's human, and doesn't that suck to be human? And he's not allowed to pluck her from the air and love her. And then he also gets into like Greek mythology, bringing up Jove and Juno and all that sort of thing to equate her with some sort of celestial being. And he says that he's going to send this to her, and oh, isn't it really sad that the other three guys aren't in love too, because if all four of them are in love, then none of them have broken their oath, and they can all just be in love, and wouldn't that be fantastic? So at this, Longueville, who was the last one to jump in a bush, is the first one to jump out of a bush and go, ha ha, caught it, you're in love, nya, 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 nya. Which, of course, then the king isn't going to let that stand, because this is Longueville being a hypocrite. So the king jumps out of his bush and says a bunch of stuff that we'll get to hear tomorrow. I'll see you then for that. Mwah.